Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Making My Boyfriend Apologize to My Mom and Sister? So, I was talking on Zoom to my mom and sister, Jen, fake name. At one point, my boyfriend came in and handed me some tea as I had a killer menstrual cramps and tea helps. When Jen saw this, she said my boyfriend's actions were offensive to women and treating me like a fragile princess was enabling me. She said her husband doesn't help her whenever she's sick or not well, and that's how partnerships between equals work.
No.
That's exactly how partnerships work. You will never get any help from me ever, Amber. Fend for yourself.
Yeah, I do not. No, thank you.
That's not a partnership. That's two isolated islands.
Yeah.
This made me mad. My boyfriend is a sweetheart and he understands that this time can be painful for me. So he helps out in whatever way he can. I told Jen that when I'm well, I take care of him as well. Pack his lunch. His office is reopened, but my college classes are still online. Make some breakfast. She got even more angry and congratulated me on becoming a 1950s housewife. This was crazy. I love taking care of my boyfriend, but that doesn't mean I'm giving up on my career. It's just that I'm a morning person, so I handle morning chores. He does nighttime chores. Jen went on about how offended she was until I left the call. Later, Mom, unbeknownst to me, texted my boyfriend and asked him to stop helping me out whenever I was on Zoom because it upsets Jen. We have to cater to Jen's feelings.
Yes.
He didn't take it seriously, at which point she said he's an outsider and was disrupting our internal family matters. This is the man who has made it abundantly clear that the minute our finances are in order, he's asking me to marry him. He lost it and said he'll take care of whomever he pleases in his own house.
I actually love that. Like, think about someone being mad and like, I will take care of people in my own house if I want to.
Yeah. So, this is where I might have gone into a-hole territory. As my mom persisted, my boyfriend said he had to look out for me since no one in my family would. This is not very far from the truth. Mom thinks older children always get the short end of the stick and has overcompensated by going the other way. For example, I wasn't allowed to cry as a kid because younger children get it easier. So my problems were nothing in comparison to Jen's. I had to share my birthday and milestones with her so she didn't feel bad. This used to hurt, but I've made peace with it. Now my extended family is blowing up my phone saying that we were rude and hurt my mom's feelings. I got a text from my mom saying that she did her best to be a good parent, but she was only human. This made me feel terrible, to be honest. But she added that she expected boyfriend to apologize to her and Jen on Zoom in front of the entire extended family. I lost it. I'm not going to make him apologize for taking care of me just because they feel offended by it. So, am I the jerk for not making my boyfriend apologize to my mom and sister?
Not the jerk.
Let's read this update. Update, or is it not important?
Well, the important part is that she's cut ties with her mom and Jen.
Oh, okay. So I guess she's cut ties with her mom and Jen. Wow, what a story. Like, there is definitely a difference between being a 1950s housewife and expecting mutual partners to take care and help each other.
Right. I mean, periods for a lot of people can be painful. And when your partner is in pain and feeling kind of gross, it's a nice courtesy to do small things to make them feel better.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's not like you're subjugating yourself. And it's not like, and I mean, partnerships are about, of course, helping your partner. I mean, that's what the definition of partnerships are. You know, you're their ally. You assist each other. You may not always 100% align with goals and ambitions, but you should at least try.
Yeah, and like, I'm sure that OP, like, fully realizes that, like, is capable of going and getting tea on her own if she wants to.
Of course.
But, like, you know, if I have cramps and, like, I ask you for some tea or, like, my heating pad or
I'm gonna
something.
tell you to go go away.
No, like, I could get up and I could walk and make tea, or I could heat up my heating pad, but it's really nice to just be able to sit on the couch, because I already feel gross and miserable, and just have you do something small to, like, make it a little better.
Don't tell people I do that kind of stuff, because then I'll be emasculated.
Oh, no!
And you'll be a 1950s housewife.
Oh, yes, because I made some lunch today, so now I'm a 1950s housewife. Like, again, a partnership, like you were saying, it's about doing things for each other. You know, ideally, you should be both doing things to help one another. And it really sounds like it's probably sour grapes here, because, like, Jen, her husband doesn't do these things for her, so she may be jealous that her sister's boyfriend is over here making her tea.
Yeah, well, the relationship between Jen and her husband, I mean, all relationships are different, and of course their dynamics are different, but it does sound like there may be some jealousy there, or maybe she's just very self-sufficient and she doesn't like it when people take care of her. Like, you know, she may just feel awkward if having someone do stuff for her. And, you know, it seems like that's a perfectly reasonable way to be if that's the way she is, but she shouldn't force other people into that lifestyle.
Exactly. Like, you're a very self-sufficient person. You don't need me. Like, even if you're sick, you don't really want to be fussed on. And, like, that's fine for you as an individual, but, like, you don't then be like, okay, Amber, like, because I'm the complete opposite. I'm a complete baby when I'm sick. I'm like, Brian, please make me soup. I'm dying. And so, but you're not like, buck it up. You're ashamed to all women, which it sounds like the sister is maybe going into the unhelpful pseudo-feminism where it's like women have to be macho or else, when, like, femininity is cool too, and, like, people of all genders should be able to exhibit traits that are stereotypically feminine.
Yeah.
They should be allowed to be vulnerable and show weakness, you know, when they're sick and hurting. Our next story is, am I the jerk for saying my daughter can't keep calling everything and everyone she dislikes creepy? My daughter is 15 and my sons are 9 and 6, and as a family we have some house rules about how we speak about others, like both things like you can't cuss at people or use profanity, but also stuff about speaking with kindness and not talking about people as fat or stupid or things like that. Recently, my daughter has practically had creepy as her favorite word. She will call everything she doesn't like creepy, including our neighbor who keeps track of which cars are in our neighborhood and who they belong to. Not in an invasive way. I like that they look out for the community's safety. The Pledge of Allegiance is a concept. It's creepy and culty to chant at the flag, she says. A cashier in the grocery store who complimented her coat. A teacher who wants cameras on and virtual backgrounds off in Zoom classes because it's creepy her teacher can see her room. Anyone over the age of 18 who still uses the TikTok app, the main character in the Great Gatsby book, the app next door, and anyone who uses it, the neighbor who sits on their porch and says hi when she walks the dog. Anyway, our younger ones are picking up on this too, and they are using it as a way to insult people without seeming to know what it really means. Like, if they're bickering, they'll just be calling each other that. So I told the kids that creepy or a creep used as an insult to a person is going to go on the no-no list, and a few times I chastised them for using it. During this, my wife was visiting her mom, and when she came back, we were talking about how I made creepy a new no-no word for the kids, and she got furious with me. She was angry because she said I was taking away our kids, but especially our daughter's ability to express discomfort with anything in their lives. And the girls especially are taught not to make a fuss if someone is making them uncomfortable, and that giving those messages of, you're not allowed to say you feel creeped out, is teaching her a horrible, dangerous lesson. And that we should be encouraging her to put words to her discomfort, and that she want our daughter to always be okay saying she doesn't feel good about something, and learn how to communicate that effectively, that I should have invited her to elaborate and respected her opinions instead of shutting her down. I told her that it doesn't seem like she's talking about actual issues. She's just using the word as a way to speak badly of people when the reasons are petty. My wife got really frustrated with me and said that if our daughter was saying this stuff, we needed to be teaching her that she should be able to express it and should be taught that us as our parents will take her seriously. We left the conversation at that point, and I'm taking some time to think right now. Am I the jerk for having told our daughter and 2 sons not to call people creepy? Yes.
Well, the thing is, like, I think the mom in this situation is completely right. And then, you don't want to have children repressed in their ability to express themselves. And certainly, like, I guess, like, using creepy as, like, an insult is one matter, and it's a completely different matter, I think, than what's at hand here. Like,
right.
Like, the 2 little kids who are just calling each other creepy because they're using it as an insult, instead of, like, taking the time to sit down with them and explain what that means, he's just like, oh, no, this is a no-no word now.
Right, and I think that's a real problem. And I also think he's very dismissive of some of the things his daughter identifies as creepy, like the neighbor who's surveilling all the cars and, like, making sure who they belong to. Like,
sure.
That seems pretty creepy.
And the thing is, like, yeah, you could argue that a number of those things on that list were actually legitimately creepy. You could probably argue that all of them if you wanted to. And the thing is that people are going to have different opinions about what constitutes something that's creepy behavior. And I mean, creepy kind of insinuates that someone is doing something that makes you feel, I guess, uncomfortable, or you feel like they're watching you, or you feel like they're doing, I guess I actually don't know a real definition of creepy, but, we all have that kind of sense of what creepy means. It just makes you feel like something isn't quite right, And
I think maybe part of the issue too is that the dad hasn't had to be on, like, as a man, typically men have less, they don't have to have as much of a creepy radar up, so things that might read as innocuous to him may come across very differently from the perspective of the girl. Like, if the cashier complimenting her coat, I mean, she's like 13 or something, I forgot her age now, but like, if they're like an older teen and, a male and like they're saying it in a certain way, it could come across as very creepy to a girl, whereas, an adult might just be like, oh, he's just being nice and complimenting her coat.
Yeah, well, and that's just it too. Is like, it's up to the individual to kind of figure out what constitutes, I think, creepy behavior or not. And again, like, the dad is just completely outright dismissing her use of this word and saying that, all these things are absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, again, like, I think that's really short-sighted, and I think the mom's completely right in this case that you don't really want to go down this road and make it so that the daughter can't express herself and the kids can't express themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a far cry from saying that someone's just dumb or stupid or something like that. Those are legitimate insults.
Exactly. Like, there are some things that are always insults, whereas something like creepy, yes, it can be used as an insult, but it also can be used as, like, a way of saying, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah. There's something here that doesn't feel right. I feel like someone's, invading my personal space or trying to hit on me or trying to, do any number of these things when they shouldn't be, Not that all people who hit on other people are creepy here. That's not really what I was saying.
No, but like,
if like there's a 50-year-old hitting on a 15-year-old, that's creepy, right? We can all just agree on that.
Yep, I think so. Although there are probably some people on Reddit who would say otherwise based on that story I was reading the other day.
Oh, no. I don't know if I want to hear about this story.
you saw it, where the woman was like 33, married to a 78-year-old.
Oh.
She had her kid when she was 22, so he was like 67.
All right. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Removing My Son's Makeup when my sister-in-law asked me to because she didn't want a boy wearing makeup at her wedding? My sister-in-law and my brother got married yesterday. My daughter was the flower girl and my son was the ring bearer. They're twins, both 4. It was a small wedding, and I did my daughter, sister-in-law, and her maid of honor's hair and makeup. When I was doing my daughter's makeup, my son, who my husband has already dressed, came to me and said he wanted makeup too. He asked for makeup before and honestly likes it more than my daughter. I just did it like my daughter's with a subtler eyeliner and paler lipstick. I was done with it when my sister-in-law came in to ask what was taking so long, and I told her that I was doing his makeup. She freaked out and said that a boy wearing makeup would steal the spotlight from her and asked to remove it. I asked him if he wanted to remove it, and he said that he didn't want to. I assumed my sister-in-law would back down, but she told me to take it off anyways. He said that he wouldn't go to the wedding if he couldn't wear makeup. My daughter said that she wouldn't do it either if her brother wasn't there. My sister-in-law said I should just make them, and I told her that I don't force my kids to do anything without giving a valid reason for doing so. I told her that my kids would not be in the wedding if she didn't let my son wear makeup. She said she would let him wear makeup. After the wedding, she told me that everyone was looking at my son instead of her, and he stole the spotlight. I don't get what she means by that. There were only 12 people there, including the bride and the groom, and all of them, except the best man and maid of honor, have seen my son in makeup before. Am I the jerk?
No.
So, yeah, the thing is, like, boys wearing makeup really isn't all that uncommon here. I mean, like, anytime you look at movies or news anchors or anyone in that respect, these are professional people who are there's a lot of men in those professional fields that wear makeup. And the thing is that this is not really that abnormal of a thing here. And, if he's 4 years old, if he really wants to wear makeup and he likes it a lot, then, I mean, I guess, whatever, and the thing is, like, I think some people will argue that 4 is a little young for makeup, but I think the thing here is that the kids probably feel like it's, they're emulating, like, their mom or their dad, and they want to feel like they're getting, extra special dressed up for a special event.
Yeah, and I think that because the twins, they're the same age, so if the bride had said, I don't want anyone under a certain age wearing makeup, like, that would be a little weird, but maybe understandable. But where it's specifically a gender...
All right. Sorry, folks, technical difficulties. We're back, though.
Yeah, so kind of continuing what I was saying, like, it would be one thing if the bride had some rule about, no one wearing makeup or whatever, but to make it a gender thing is not very cool. And, like, trying to make someone else's kids obey your gender rules is just really strange. Like, the boy asked for the makeup himself. It wasn't like his mom imposed it on him or anything. And I think letting kids have choices over their own body is a really good thing.
Yeah.
And letting him feel included, too, on this day. Because, like, if his sister gets makeup and he doesn't, and he really wants it, he likes it more than she does, that's going to be really frustrating for him and saddening for him. And
yeah.
He shouldn't be taught that, like, this is a no-no because you're a boy. Like, if he wants to wear makeup, let him wear makeup.
All right, folks. That's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, yeah. How was your day today? What were you up to?
Writing a practice test and then writing the solution to the practice test.
Yeah.
Not very exciting stuff.
No, I fixed something at work that I didn't make correct the first time. That's what I did. It would be too long to explain, and it looks like our voices are out of sync with our lips, so we're going to be like just like that. Oh, I think we've regained synchronization.
Yay!
It did it on its own. So, yeah. That sounds like an interesting thing.
No, not really.
Amber wrote her test extra hard for the students.
No, I didn't. And it was the practice test I wrote today. I wrote the test yesterday.
She was complaining to me about how miserable her students are, and she wanted to punish them with the exam.
No, it's the opposite. I think the test is too easy. Of course, it's not really going to be, but I feel like it's way too easy
you
for
hear
them.
that? Her extra hard exam is going to be too easy.
It's not extra hard.
It's physics. It's already extra hard, right?
I guess so. I dressed up as Ghastly the Pokemon today.
Yeah.
So that was something I did that was a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Hence the dark lipstick.
Yeah. You also had that other look.
Yes, Jenny Foxworth from Oliver, which is the shirt and skirt are from that. So, like, I have parts of my 2 different outfits going on right now.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks so much for watching. I mean, thanks for watching, Amber.
I will watch it.
But thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
And we'll see you all tomorrow.